No more intro. Get to it.
Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2019 SH Monsterarts Godzilla and giving my honest opinion if it's worthy of the name King of the SH Monsterarts figures. This figure comes from my favorite Monsterverse movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, which I highly recommend you watch. If for any reason, that reason alone. After I watched the movie and saw this guy in stores, I was like, if that movie was so great, the figure must be amazing as well. Until I got him in hand, and then I was thinking, does King of the Monsters actually suit him? And just know that this is my opinion after my couple years of handling it and having other SH Monsterarts to compare it with. So I have to say that just alone looking at it, especially when I first saw it in store, was more than enough to entice me to get it. And especially the price point of it being $70, while some like Shin are almost $200 depending on which one that you get. And then Kiryu's almost impossible to find, never mind Destroya at times as well. So when I saw that he was $72 to $75 with hats, I had to pick him up. So I did the casual thing of opening it, playing with it, taking pictures of it, and then I started to notice little glaring flaws, such as the jaw and the tail, believe it or not. So being little me, I didn't want to push it anymore, so I put it away for 4 years. Then with me growing up a little bit, I decided to take another look at it. But I gotta say, despite its flaws, it is still a hunk of beautiful plastic. So starting off with the box, it's a basic design, but it's not the worst of them all. For the front, we get a plain old SH Monsterarts box with a picture of the figure on the left and the actual figure on the right, but I actually like this one a lot more because with the Monsterverse, or let's say the Monarch theme, it's very geometric. One thing that I like is that they give homage to how long Godzilla's been here, and happy 65th birthday in 2019. And they have a little Shin Godzilla. Isn't that cool? Left side is just the basic title. Right side has him striking the pose. The top, I actually like the little square or whatever you want to call it on the side. Legalese with a actually pretty cool picture on the left side. Then for the back, we get all the pretty promotional pictures and what comes in the box. One thing that is nice though is that it comes with a breath effect that you will need a base for if it's not pressed against something, but that's also something cool because you can get very imaginative with it. The one thing that I do not like though is that you do have to replace the whole dumbbell joint because it comes attached with one, and these are very small as you can see. So if you lose it or break it, best of luck. In typical SH Monsterarts fashion, they did a splendid job on the painting and sculpting, from the smooth nose and the underside of the chin to painted teeth and the inner mouth detail with a posable tongue, but it's very small, so I don't really like to even move it. Then we have amazing sculpting going down, and they made sure to hide the joints nicely. They even give us painted eyes. And just looking at the pure silhouette of him, it matches it so nicely to how thick and how menacing he was in the movie when he ran up to King Ghidorah. As I was saying before, with the smooth chin flowing down to the rigid and bumpy neck, cascading to the armored chest and stomach, stretching into the human-like arms, which luckily it's not first for him. And then going to the waist and the crotch, which is amazingly detailed and dry brushed. We get to the thick, chunky legs and the very interesting shins. As you can see, they are a totally different pattern in size in comparison to the front, which is almost like armor plate, and then it goes in very spiky, and then just dots and a smooth calf in the back. And for the nasty feet, we get giant flesh-ripping claws. Looking at the back of this figure, the first thing that I say and I see is just a giant walking, breathing mountain. The one thing that really did pique my interest was the detail on each of the dorsal fins, as each and every single one is different from the one before and after it, and how they do not go in a straight line. They are how they should be, rigid, nasty, chipped, bent, or whatever. Another part of the figure that caught my attention very quickly was the tail, and how abruptly it ends with that itty bitty little tip. One of my other favorite things, and a big gripe that I have, is that the detail is there, but as you can see, it covers the articulation or the open end of each ball joint, which I will get into later. For the articulation, I'm going to go easy because my joints are either tight, loose, or are prone to falling apart. So with some of this, I'm gonna go easy. Other parts, I will show the full range of motion. So starting off with the jaw, I have to say this is one of my biggest problems with it already, as if I move it a little bit or too far, as you can see, it really starts to become unhinged. And then if I go even further, it just likes to pop out. For some reason, there we go. The reason why is the dumbbell joint in here. The peg wasn't filed down all the way, so that opened up this hole. I don't know if you can see the deformation in it, but it is in there. Right side of the jaw, you see where that gash is. There was a nub or a protrusion of just a clump of plastic sticking out there that I had to cut out just to make this jaw sit in there, because if not, it was either a very big underbite or it just wouldn't fit in there nicely. And as you can see, even after fixing that and trying to make it fit back in there, it still pops out. So it is an annoying nuisance. But moving on for the rest of the articulation. Going up, it goes pretty dang far. And it is to strike the infamous pose from the movie's poster, or a famous pose that I'm pretty sure a lot of people would want, and luckily they give us it in this figure. Looking down, he can pretty much a little itty bitty bit. I don't even know if you were able to see it, but it mostly came from the waist. And then side to side, it's pretty much like Shin Godzilla, of where it does do it, but he more leans to the side than actually looks to the side. With the torso, you pretty much get none, but it does have a little bit up and down, more side to side than not, which looking at from the front, it's not a lot, but at least it's there. This is another one of the tight parts I was talking about, the shoulder. This pretty much has nothing. I mean, a smidge of a rotation, which if you were even able to see in the promotional art for the bots, they didn't really do a lot of poses with the arm. I mean, there is a double bend at the elbow, and they do rotate a slight bit, not that much, but enough to give it a little bit of articulation. And there is rotation at the forearm, and then the hands are the amazing ball joints, and if you can see in there, the ball joints are sculpted upon, so it does blend nicely into the hand. The waist is honestly maybe the best part, especially going out. We get amazing muscle pulling detail, and standing straight up, you do have to finagle it a little bit because they are kind of built to collide with each other to show more detail going in or out, so you do have to work with that. Then with the rotation, do be wary that up here it does like to grind, so there will be sculpting and paint chipping if you rotate it, which is really all you can do with it. So might as well just hide it by tucking it in just a little bit. Then with the knees, you get the typical Godzilla, which is still amazing. My knee is loose. The best part is the shins, I gotta say. Shins and ankle rotation. As with any SH Monsterarts, this is now my favorite joint. And then especially with the little detail that they added, it's amazing. One of the best parts and worst parts about this figure is the tail. So one of the best things I like is, like I said, in the sculpting and detailing, they did it beautifully and they hit the joints wonderfully. But then that strikes the first problem. Going up, it's pretty much non-existent. The only joint that really moves at is at this mid joint, and mine is loose, so I don't even like to do it that much. And even the tip, or right here, it's loose, so I don't really want to mess with it. And then this joint pops out a lot, and so does that one, so I really do not like to pose the tail. And even going down, it can't really do that much. But there is a joint right here that lets it collapse, which lets you do the charging pose with this guy. Even side to side really isn't that great. Thank you for the mid joint to where we can get something, but if it doesn't transfer through to the rest of the tail, I pretty much consider this not. For size comparison series, that's Shin 2002 Fenix. So despite this guy's imposing stature, amazing sculpted detail, and the beautiful idea of trying to hide the ball joints even more, we're going over them with more amazingly sculpted detail and paint, in no way can I say this Godzilla is the king of the SH Monsterarts line. So because of this guy, we're going to make a new rating system. It will consist of, and however many of 5 I get out of these will represent the final score. So honestly, I have to give it a 3 out of 5. The posability and everything is nice, other than the small little issues with, let's say, the chest, the shoulders, and the tail. If it was like the Shin, then I would easily 5 out of 5. But with the jaw as well and the loose knee, it's like, what else can go wrong? And then the tail did, were the most important joints keep on falling apart. So, is he a must buy? I would say yes. If you were willing to have him just pretty much pose here and pose there. He's a nice addition, but he is just another Godzilla, in my opinion. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a nice day. God bless, and I will see you next time.